Over the years, I've noticed three types or levels of relationships. Now, I'm sure there are other types, other categories, other levels of relationships, but I wanted to share these three, which I call the B, C, and E category of relationship or types. At the end of the story, I'm going to ask you to share which category of relationship you are in or aspire to be in. So the first category, the B, I call the belittling type of relationship. And I saw this early on when I was about 9 or 10 years old. I was living with my father for a time, and he was living in a rented house. And at the back of the house, a family lived there. And the woman would say to the man, "Watch him now." Pardon me. I want to share how she said it. "Watch him now. Watch him now. Him ugly like an alligator." And she would say that he's ugly like an alligator, right? And so the man was very quiet. He was a bushman and seaman. And sometimes she would say he would have this lass in his hand. You know what I call lass, right? I don't want to say everything. And as a child, I never forgot the look on that man's face when that woman demeaned him. And he was just quiet. And thankfully, it's not a time like now when men are quick to react. He just took it, but he was so quiet. I thought he could have been dangerous, but he was using his senses. And she was just belittling him. And I knew he felt bad because the children were there. They were laughing. I didn't laugh because I didn't understand it. And because I'm an analytical type of person from long time, I was thinking to myself in my little child's brain, and if he's so ugly, why is she with him? No, if he's so ugly like alligator, why is she with him and having children with him? I just couldn't understand it. As I grew older, I recognized that he wasn't the ugly one, she was. So that's the first type of relationship. Are you in that type of relationship? That's a belittling type. And I've seen that play over and over again throughout the years. The second type of relationship is the C one that I call competing. And I've noticed that some couples will be just competing with each other. And I'm thinking, they don't understand. Like you'll hear, like the wife say, "Oh, when I pick him up, he didn't have any degree or he didn't have any subject. And I have two masters and he only has a bachelor degree," and vice versa. It's just a competition. And that is a relationship that is always sad and depressing and some quarrel and all sort of things. So that's the C type of relationship. Now the E type of relationship, the third one, no, not finger, but the third one, the E type of relationship, I saw that as a youngster in my grandparents' relationship. So my grandfather was a returning resident, a retired person from the UK. He and his wife was a nurse, and both of them came and retired in St. Elizabeth. And when we were there, we had to use a knife and fork. We had to, TV was off after the news, discipline and order, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to their relationship, my grandfather didn't give us anything, and his wife didn't give us anything. So she wasn't my biological grandmother. She was my grandfather's wife, which is my mother's father's wife. But they were my grandparents. We didn't say step grandparents at the time, right? And so what they would do, no one of them would give you anything. So you know those old English men with their brown what do you call it? Thing their jacket, bush jacket. And he would take out his wallet. Another time I'll tell you how he gave us money, but I want to get to the point. When he gave us money, he would say, "It's from the both of us. Whatever they gave us, it's from the both of us." So I call this the equal relationship. When my grandmother would give us anything, "It's from the both of us. You hear? From the both of us. From the both of us." Nobody, no one person gave you anything. It's like, and you would hear them in their room at early in the mornings discussing, especially when the summer was almost over. We were, planning to go back to where we lived. And they were just planning and making plans for us. And it's always from the both of them. No one person could give you a bottle of water. It's from the both of us. And I respect that so much. But the reason I remember all these type of relationships, and this same one, this one I'm going to share now with you, is it still falls under the E category. Is because a couple came to visit me recently. And I'm going to share the scripture with you as well. And when I was speaking with the wife away from the husband, she was giving the husband a lot of credit. I don't want to give you some examples, but I, let me give you this example. I would say he's so professional, and she would say he is, and just some of the examples. It's like she wasn't trying. It was natural that she was behind his back and always just esteeming him. Just it was beautiful. Let's say that it was beautiful. When I talk with the husband away from the wife, he was the same thing as well, or even in front of each other. And I remember I called the husband, after they left, and I was saying to him, I like such and such. And you know what he said? All hers. Like his wife says Keisha. It's all Keisha's work. It's all hers. And I had to say it. As I noticed with you, is that you're always in Jamaica we say big up, but esteeming, bigging up each other in front of each other and behind each other. And it is beautiful. And I told them, don't lose that. So those are the three types of relationships that I've seen. The B, which is belittling, I've seen that all over. And I've seen the C, which is competing. Very odd that wives and husbands are competing against each other instead of complementing each other. And sometimes I want to point this out is that sometimes when they are competing and they think they're bigging up themselves, it makes them look small, at least in my eyes, because I'm saying, this is your partner. You should be complimenting the person, not competing with the person. And then the last one is equal, like my grandfather, or esteeming higher. I could give them 4 categories, but I just grouped the 2 last ones. And that is the type of relationship that all of us should aspire to be in. And I'm going to share the scripture with you. It comes from Philippians 2, verse 3. It says, let nothing be done through strife or vain glory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. All right, so which category of relationship do you fall in? The B, the belittling type, the C, the competing type, or the E, the equal or esteem type? Share in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned for another episode of Wit and Womanhood.